Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
Video games.
What? How do they work? We talk about video games every week here on the LANCave, and we talk about other nerdy things. This week we had a lot of news, and we actually had to trim some news that we were like, does it matter? Does it not? Too much news. Too much gaming. Never too much gaming. What do you think?
I was about to say, is there too much? I mean, I will say I am having a problem right now when it comes to games. So I have been playing my 12 for 12, my Ex Libris stuff. I did play some Ghost of Tsushima last month. I did start Obra Dinn this month, which is my March 12 for 12 game. If you guys didn't know, we're playing a game that's on our backlog every single month. I have a problem though where every game that I play that has a story since I finished 13 Sentinels, I have zero desire to keep playing. Like, just nothing has like put its meat claws into me and is like, hey, keep playing. Like, I didn't keep playing Ghost of Tsushima. That was more of a map problem. I do want to go back to it, and I can see myself going back to it when, especially like when we hear more about the sequels that is definitely coming out there. Sucker Punch is definitely working on a Ghost of Tsushima 2. And then I started playing this Obra Dinn game, and the art style's really cool. It has this like single color animation where you can turn on the different monitors. So I'm playing it, I streamed this to YouTube for about an hour. I'm playing it on the Mac monitor. So it's got a nice green tint to it, but you can do what's the old computer with the 5-inch disc?
So it's not a Commodore, is it? Or
Commodore.
Is it?
So you can do a do a Commodore screen. You can do an old LCD. Like, you can change the screen, but it's always going to be this single color.
Interesting.
Really cool in terms of how it's storytelling. Your whole point is to like go around the boat and figure out where everybody went. So this boat's been gone a very long time, and you're investigating like why it showed up and then what happened to the crew. And while it's cool, I'm just still not feeling it. Like, I just still haven't found that game to get me out of the lull. I played Super Mario 3D World, no story there. I played a couple shoot 'em ups, space shooters, beat those, no problem. Like, so I'm having fun with the arcade style stuff, but anything with a story, I'm just like, I want 13 Sentinels 2 or something. Like, it's weird. I haven't been in that kind of mood in a while. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, where you finish a story. Maybe after The Last of Us, where I took a break from story games. I don't know. Yeah,
when you're like, it's not itching the scratching the itch. Sorry, it's not hitting it the right way for you, I guess, in regards to the story. It's not resonating with you the right way. I'll say Control. That's my game that I've been for mine. That's definitely resonated with me in many ways in regards to like the story, the pacing, the gameplay. I'm really enjoying it. It's good. I just keep going back and playing Demon's Souls. I need to go like double down on this because I like the story. It's not that long of a game from everything that I'm seeing. No. Yeah, I'm really liking it. Well, let's talk about that. You want to talk about that towards the end? Do some gaming news, and then talk about
I want to talk to you about Control for sure.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that towards the end of this live stream. If you're watching live, if you're listening to the podcast, it's towards the end. If you're on YouTube, it's probably going to be a separate video. So click subscribe and do all those things if you're on YouTube. But we're live every Wednesday. Almost said Thursday for no reason. We're live every Wednesday.
We've switched it up from time to time.
We did. So I guess we can do that. So like I said, we had some gaming news. That's the main thing we do talk about on this show. The PlayStation State of Play happened, and there were some things I was like, that's cool, and there's some things I was like, eh.
Give me an overall rating.
Overall rating, I give it like a 3.5. Like out of 5.
Okay.
Like,
I was like, out of 10? That's harsh. But...
like, I was like, it was good. It just wasn't like, it didn't blow me out of the water. There were some games that I thought were really, really cool. Sifu, being shown here, like really cool. We don't see a lot of martial arts games like this.
Got those Daredevil vibes.
Yep, that's exactly. I was gonna say Daredevil or Old Boy vibes to it. Absolutely loved. I love martial arts movies. Like old school martial arts movies are just awesome. Newer martial arts movies are getting better. There was a big lull of the jump cuts. I blame Jason Bourne movies for all that. The jump cut where it's like,
I was a big Jet Li fan.
Jet Li's great. Yeah, Jet Li's good. Like they're and this reminded me of quite a few of those. Obviously not not in like the Jackie Chan style. It was more about like legit martial arts. And Jackie Chan's more of the comedy and the craziness, or at least that's what he's doubled up on. But I was like, this is an instant buy for me. Another instant buy for me was Kena.
I've been saying
Kena Bridge of Spirits. I was like, okay, buying it. Like it immediately. It gave
I pre-ordered it.
You did? Okay, so yeah. So like I'm probably gonna pre-order it. I just need to do it. Like it's cute. In regards to like the little animals and stuff, the exploration story stuff seemed like it was gonna be really good.
I'll say there has to be something about it where, because for those who don't know, it's $40, so it's $39.99.
Yeah.
You can pre-order it now. That's PS5 version. It is also a PS4 game, I think. I'm pretty sure. So if you buy the PS5 version, it'll get you both. Or if you just, but you know, it looks too good for $39.99. This is like their first game, by the way. So this is, I want to give them credit just because they're cool. Amber Labs.
Yeah, very ambitious for a first game. Smooth as well. The gameplay looks fun and action oriented there. Ember Labs. So the gameplay, because at first I was like, okay, it looks good, but what's the gameplay going to be like? And the gameplay looks like actiony, action platform, but it didn't look stilted. It looked good, and I love this environment change as well.
It's got to be one of the prettiest games I've seen in quite some time, and it's got the Zelda Breath of the Wild vibes that we're digging. She's got this cool staff thing that does different things. It becomes a bow. It's got right there. If you're watching the live feed, if you're on the audio version though, go check out Kena Bridge of Spirits. In terms of the video, watch it at 4K. It looks gorgeous. Yeah. So I went ahead. I know that pre-ordering is a hot topic between a lot of people, but since it was these guys' first game, and I know I was gonna buy it. There was no way that I can't buy this game. It would have to really bomb for me to change my mind. Yeah. So I went ahead and threw them that money, but this game looks so good.
It looks good. At smaller studios like this, also, I feel like I don't feel as bad when I do pre-order, as I'm like, these, that's actually going to do more good, if you will, as opposed to pre-ordering something from like Ubisoft, where not necessarily that's a bad thing, but like they're banking on everyone pre-ordering like Assassin's Creed games and everything, and I feel like smaller developers like this, it shows support, which shows that people are enjoying what they're, even before the games come out, people are liking what they've put out. And as corny as that is, like, that really matters for smaller studios or early studios. Obviously they've got some budget. I don't know how they have the budget that they have. Is usually like, early studios or whatever, usually indies that have like one or two people working on them. Doesn't seem like it's a shoestring budget. It seems like really good stuff. So I'm not that I feel like we need to dig where the money into where the money's been coming from, but yeah.
Well, they definitely got some money from Sony because it is a console exclusive, so it is going to be on PC, but this is a PlayStation 4 and 5 exclusive. And then I could be wrong. Yeah, it's going to be released through the Epic Game Store. So Epic threw some money at them as well. And that also, I'm guessing. I don't see an exclusivity deal talked about, but normally if it's going to release in the Epic Game Store, that means Epic normally paid some. So Sony paid them, Epic paid them. That probably helped them a bit. I want to know what you think of Returnal? Because this game looks more you than me.
And I didn't have that listed on here. I'm probably gonna play it.
Okay.
But
Do you know? Do you know? Do you know like who's making it? What the deal is?
no, who's making it?
So it's made by It's made by Housemarque,
Okay.
which is this is the first game they've kind of made like this. For people who don't know, Housemarque,
They did Resogun.
Yeah. And so this is a different
Outland.
thing. The thing that kind of turned me off on Returnal is it's roguelike.
Yeah.
And as much as I always try out roguelike games, I played some Rogue Legacy again recently just because I love the soundtrack in Rogue Legacy. I've tried out Dead Cells. There's just something for me about playing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
That I like. So they're going to be doing the roguelike elements. They're going to be changing up the map every single time, but you're going to be like learning the story as you go. But whenever I saw this trailer, it looks all you. It's got like hostile alien planet, like
that's one of the reasons like I was going for it. The roguelike part, and it took me a while to realize where I was like, I actually do like roguelikes. I didn't realize how much I liked them until relatively recently, I guess. But the hostile alien planet, the sci-fi but kind of dark sci-fi definitely was resonating with me. I'm trying to bring up the trailer here for everyone to see, but you know what, I'll just do it on the fly. I was trying to do it all smooth and stuff, so ignore the fact that that's some Pokemon, and I'll bring up the trailer. It actually wasn't until I've been playing Hades, and playing Hades like made me really realize how much I like roguelike games. Not that I didn't, like I said, I've been playing games like what is it? I'm blanking on the name.
you've been playing Dark Souls and you've been playing Control.
That's true. No, I was thinking of that game, the game that Kevin absolutely loves, and I forgot the name. But
Binding of Isaac.
Yeah. Where it's like I played that and it was cool, but Hades, I'm loving in a way I didn't imagine. I thought I would like it, but I was thinking of it too much like. When I saw the trailers, I didn't think about the roguelike aspect, and I was thinking too much Diablo because of the isometric view, and it's not Diablo, like, at all. But it's good. It's different. But yeah, Returnal, the gameplay loop on that, I probably will enjoy. And when you mentioned, like, learning the story as you go through, in Hades you're doing that. You haven't played Hades yet, right?
I played it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I played it at New Year's.
That's right. I forgot. You
I
played
took it with me on vacation.
That's right. You played it well before me. So like kind of like that, where I'm like learning the story, but while I'm playing that has been pretty cool. So being able to do that with this game is going to be interesting. Also, a roguelike game that is a third person shooter will be interesting. For some reason, and I don't know why, but whenever I hear this name and I hear Deathloop, my brain mixes them up.
Sure.
And I think it's
second party exclusives.
Second party exclusives, but also the idea of this is a loop, that's a loop. They're both gameplay loops, so my brain kind of mixes them up. But yeah, I'm excited about.
What was that one? What was that one like? Was it a Hayden Christensen movie?
Looper.
Yeah.
Looper.
Was Bruce Willis in that too, or is that no? That's a separate movie. I think that's Bruce. What's the Bruce Willis with Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Is that Looper? Hold on. I think that's Looper. I think we're thinking of was it Wanted?
No. There's another.
It's the Hayden Christensen movie. Yeah, Hayden Christensen.
So Looper is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
That one is the one with Bruce Willis, but there's another one that was like Hayden Christensen that I feel that I mix up with Looper a lot.
See, obviously,
Do you know which one
I
does that
just
sound
did.
familiar to you?
Yeah, because I just did, and I can't even remember what it. Jumper. Looper and Jumper, yeah, because that's the one where you can like it's like a teleportation thing. That and Wanted did not age well. They were just like meh movies. I'm speaking of Hayden Christensen. He's one that people rag on in regards to his acting, but like I'm like waiting for. I don't know. I haven't been
Hayden
wowed by it.
Christensen?
Yeah.
People brag on his acting.
No, rag on it. Sorry, they
Oh,
do not
rag
like.
on it.
Sorry, they do not like his acting. And like I haven't been wowed by him. Like, not saying he's terrible, but like people, I think it's an easy target. Kind of like Robert Pattinson with Twilight. People like it's an easy target, but Robert Pattinson's like actually doing some good stuff. So I don't know. I'm excited about that for Batman. But what did you think about Solar Ash?
Uh, I didn't really care for Hyper Light Drifter that much.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like it. It has a really cool art style. There's just something about Hyper Light Drifter that just didn't grab me. So it's the same people making that, and I meant to go through and list all the developers because I like to give them
Yeah.
credit. Heart Machine is developing this game. It looks cool. But tell me though, did you play did you play any of the Pathless?
No, I haven't.
That came out this last year. Do you know which one I'm talking about? The one where you got the bow?
Yeah.
And it's all about like speed.
Wait, did I? No, I didn't. I'm thinking of something completely different. No, I didn't play any of the Pathless.
Okay.
I didn't play it or anything. Yeah.
So when you get a chance, obviously we can't do this, necessarily live, but go watch some gameplay of the Pathless, and I'm pretty sure I streamed it on our channel for about an hour, back in the fall, and just look at what they're both accomplishing in terms of like the idea is speed. This one's more platformer based, whereas Pathless is kind of this world traversing thing, but I got this vibe that they just felt pretty similar. And I didn't care for the Pathless, and I'm hoping that doesn't put me off on this game. So I want to see this game come out. A lot of people really liked the Pathless, by the way, so I'm actually in the minority. I just didn't care for how they kind of threw you into a direction. They really lived up to the name of the game, the Pathless. It doesn't tell you really where to go at all at first, and that just kind of put me off. So if something can bring me back, this is a vibe. Like, my art style.
Yeah.
This is an art style that definitely speaks to me. So it's a game I'm going to be keeping my eye on. What about you?
Yeah, I am. Same thing. It seems like it's cool. It seems like it'd be entertaining, but at the same time, like, now that I'm thinking about the Pathless, now that I'm remembering, I'm like, that was pretty good. I don't know, and like how they compare. If you didn't like the Pathless as much, but I don't know. The art styles resonated with me. That's cool, but I don't know if the gameplay will last. Like, where I'll actually continue to want to play it. Where I'll continue to actually want to play it, as opposed to other games that just hook me and like I want to keep diving into either the gameplay or the story. Like, one of those things has to hook me. Art style alone doesn't do it for me. Like, I need something else that's there. But yeah, so like I said, PlayStation State of Play. Other than the last thing,
before we get to the last thing, you know what I'm tired of seeing?
What's that?
I'm getting tired of seeing Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm getting tired of seeing Oddworld Soulstorm.
Yep.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a what? How old is that game? Let's look up Five Nights
the original?
at Freddy's. Yeah, I know that this is like they're doing new stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
they've done like 6 games.
2014 for the original Five Nights at Freddy's. So what is Security Breach? Is it an expansion or is it a brand new game?
No, it's a brand new game. It's a brand new game. So
All
they've
right, well,
done
I'm
like...
less upset, but I feel like I've seen this trailer like 17 times in the past 6 months.
Yeah. I don't know about 17. Like, I think that they announced it.
Hyperbolically
Sure. That's a series that, like, I played the first one and I tried the second one, and I appreciate what they're doing, especially as a horror fan. Like, I appreciate it, but I never understood the gravitation to, I don't know, to keep playing games that are almost the same. The best thing out of them is like the game theory videos and stuff like that, where they're like explaining the hidden story of Five Nights at Freddy's, if you've seen any of that, that's the best part of those games. It's not the game, it's the weird story and putting together like what's actually happened in the lore. If you've never seen any of that stuff, it's weird.
Yeah, so it was first revealed in 2019. That's why I feel like I've seen
Okay.
it a whole bunch. So there's games that can get away with that, right? There's games that I can like see for 2 years and just see pop up every once in a while. But this game was delayed from 2020, as a lot of things were. And as I said in last week's episode, I'm giving lots of people passes on their delays and stuff. And so I'm not trying to hate on Five Nights at Freddy's because I don't like the style. I'm just tired of seeing that trailer. The same way I'm tired of seeing Oddworld. It's just that Oddworld's been delayed like 6 times.
Yeah, at least. I'm a fan of Oddworld. Like I'm an OG fan of Oddworld, and I'm tired of seeing this because apparently it's coming out in April.
Free with PS Plus though.
So that's crazy to me. Like, how is that? Like, that's crazy to me that it keeps getting delayed. Now it's gonna be free with PS Plus. Like, and I feel like I do need to give them money to show like, no, like I did want to support you in this, but as an OG like Oddworld fan, I've been waiting for this so long. I feel like now I'm going to be let down by the game. I don't know.
It looks good. I like the fact that there's the pacifist and stuff. Again, it's just a thing where I've seen it a whole bunch of times. But it's going to be free with PS Plus, so make sure you add that thing to your library. And you know what's free right now with PS Plus?
Yeah, some Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I've got some things to say
reveals, but cool at the same time. But go ahead.
I've got some. Okay. I'm gonna put this aside. The fact that it looks great. The remake looks good. I'm gonna forget the Intergrade. I've called it the wrong thing like a few times, like before the show, just trying to remember the name. Intergrade. I'm gonna butcher that. I don't understand what they're doing. It looked, but like I said,
Nomura, baby.
Like I said, it looks, yeah, exactly. It's Kingdom Hearts all over again. It looks great and everything. My biggest problem is actually what you just mentioned. So before we talk about how great it looks, I want to make sure people understand if you get the PlayStation Plus free version, you can't get the free upgrade to the PS5 version, which made me. I get it, but I don't. This is the only time.
I want to know how much they're going to charge for it.
Yeah. I want to know how much they're going to charge for it. Also, I own the physical copy, so if I get the digital copy and the disc copy, I mean, I'm assuming that they've thought about this already, and that if I have my disc in the system, that it'll let me upgrade. But how do I link my disc to the? I don't understand. Like before, we haven't had this problem where a digital version in this aspect is locked in to say you're only the PS4 version, and then the PS5 version is only if you've purchased the digital version. That's confusing to me.
They're different SKUs. So
yeah, they're different SKUs, but I don't have the digital version right now. So if I get the digital version, is that going? I'm hoping that they've thought about this already, that won't accidentally lock people out who have the digital PlayStation Plus version and have a physical version. Will it still let me upgrade my physical version? That's the part that I'm like, that's weird.
So we'll line it up here. So Final Fantasy VII Remake, free on PS Plus for the month of March. You can go ahead and add that to your library if you don't own it. I do suggest trying it out if you had zero interest in trying it out. It's a great game as it stands right now. Then, later this summer, they are going to be releasing the PS5 version of this game. If you own it digitally right now, if you paid for it.
Yes.
If you paid for the digital version, as I did. If you paid for the physical version, as I did, and Patrick did. I own it both ways.
See, and I don't. That's where I'm like, you're covered.
I have my unopened copy up there. So I'm not going to open it. They better just figure it out. So if you bought it digitally or physically, you will get a free PS5 upgrade. Unless you bought the deluxe edition, you will have to pay for the dope looking new story content, which includes Yuffie, which this is all available June 10th, by the way. You will have to pay an upgrade. I don't know if they've actually announced the upgrade price. I think it's $10.
I've seen $10. I don't know if that was completely accurate, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well.
Assume it's probably $10 because if you think about it, a $60 game plus $10 deluxe editions are normally $10 more than the $60 game. And then if you decide to ignore all that and you want to buy the PS5 disc version later, that's going to cost you a big old $70. So here's what you want to do. If you have been waiting on this game because you wanted the PS5 version, go on, let's say Amazon, or stop by your local GameStop if they haven't closed it yet. They're available right now for $30 used, the disc. So pick that up. That way you get essentially a $30 copy of the PS5 game. You're still going to have to pay that Yuffie upgrade fee. They made this way more complicated than they needed to. I think that they should have given us Intergrade. Never mind. I'm not going to say they should have given it to us for free, because I appreciate the PS5 upgrade for free. I think one of the two should have occurred. What I do like, though, Yuffie and Intergrade is not available on the PS4 version. So they silently said, all right, you got your PS4 version. You got the first one. We're moving on. Because we're going to give you now 60 frames. Dope. We're going to fix the textures, hopefully. And we're going to give you 4K performance, which I didn't actually verify. I'm hoping it's 4K at 1440p. I mean, not 4K at 14. I'm hoping it's 1440 at 60.
1440 60. I would hope so. I'd hope so. And the game already looked good. I mean, we're talking about enhancements in a way to a game that already looked good. Already though, I don't like the way that her cloak moves. Like, for a PS5 game, if that's for because that has to be the PS5 version. But yeah, the silent way, the subtle way of saying, hey, the new stuff's on the PS5, as opposed to continuing to support the boat anchor that is the PS4 or will be the PS4. I can't say is the PS4 right now because it's impossible to get a PS5. We were lucky enough to get ours at pre-order. We fought hard to get ours at pre-order and our Xboxes at pre-order. But trying to get a PS5 or get an Xbox right now is ridiculous. So
it doesn't say. So right now, all we know is that there's a 4K mode and a 60 FPS mode. Let's hope that the 60 FPS mode is 1440.
I hope so. I hope so. But like I said, I already feel like the game looked great. If it's 60 frames at 1440, I'm fine with that. I'm now coming around to the 60 frame train. There's just like, after playing Ghosts, even though Ghosts didn't hook me the way that I wanted to hook, in terms of the combat though, the combat in Ghosts, like, it just felt fluid. And if you go, and I've heard this for years, if you're at 60 and you go back to 30, it just hurts. And I've been playing a ton of Call of Duty, a ton of Call of Duty, and it's just a thing where you notice, you start noticing when games aren't enhanced. And so, as usual, Square got to be Square, and they got to make this super stupid complicated. But my positives, Intergrade looks awesome. It's awesome. It's just awesome looking. I'm hoping, let's say it's around 10 hours. That's my guess. 5 to 10 hours, maybe more. But what a positive sign for this for me is that we got 7 Remake last year. We're getting Intergrade this year. Do we get part 2 next year? Do we get another piece of DLC? If I get one piece of Final Fantasy 7 Remake per year, you're happy.
I'm okay with that. Like, I'm good with that, because that shows me that they're not just abandoning this game as soon as they can. They have already announced that Nomura is not directing part 2. He is now just story, which I'm okay with. I think focus on the story, Nomura. Don't go too KH on it. You already have a little bit. But keep it tight and let somebody else run the day-to-day. I think that everything for me right now, other than Square being Square in terms of how they're promoting all this random stuff, but in terms of the game, I'm feeling good. I am too. I think the Nomura parts of the game that were Nomura, like, I could really feel like, I'm like, oh, I know what this is coming from. But I'll say the ending got me
hooked me, and like it was one of those moments in gaming that we've all had where we got to the point where we're like, I think this is the end of the game, and then like pushed through the next couple hours where we normally would have stopped. It's the classic moment when you're playing a game and you don't realize how much time has passed, that kind of situation. If I play, I trade off playing games, with the wife, or we'll watch movies together and stuff. And that was one of those moments where like that was happening, and like sometimes I'll be like, oh, okay, you're off work. Hey, let's have our time together. It's like, nope, this is happening. She got it, and it was perfect. And that sounds like weird, but we are like, but yeah, I try to have that quality time with her, and she realized like, oh no, this is happening, just like I will with when she's playing some of her games. And that was an ending a game that changed the ending of one of my favorite games of all time. So if he continues to keep me on the edge of my seat like that, I'm fine with that. I want a little bit better pacing is what I want out of the second part. I feel like some Final Fantasy VII Remake was a little repetitive and drag a little bit, but that's just me. Yeah. I'm really excited about the other news that we got out of PlayStation, though, is that finally, not yet, but finally at some point this summer, I'm going to be able to pop open my PlayStation for more than just popping it open and cleaning it out, which, by the way, I did this past weekend. Oh,
you did already?
I did. So I saw some people online who were like posting pictures. Now they were posting pictures of videos like how dirty their PlayStations got, and then people were like, do you not clean your house? So like one of them was like, they were like, you're definitely a smoker. Like immediately, not me, but like the person who was posting the videos, they were like, everyone was commenting.
If you vape too, vape will cake your stuff up.
Yep. So yeah, get that. If you're gonna do it, don't do it in the same room. But being able to do this right here, because I've only done this part once, opening up that bay and actually putting an SSD into the PS5, I'm excited about being able to do that this summer. Allegedly, is when they're gonna unlock the firmware, update the firmware, so that way that slot can actually be used. And hopefully we'll get a nice list of compatible SSDs that we know are going to be okay, because everybody's going to buy the wrong SSDs. Yeah,
that's the important one. They need to get ahead of this. They need to come out and say that like this is PlayStation approved. Like this is either like licensed or or something like that. It needs to be done. They also need to be very clear, because the thing that I didn't really read in this article is like whether or not you can run PS5 games off of them. And so like I want to know, is it just something that I can transfer PS5 games to? Because currently, I mentioned it, I bought a 4 terabyte high-speed HDD, so not an SD drive, but an HDD WD drive that is branded. I think it's like approved by PlayStation or something like that, but I've been running bunches of PS4 games. I was running Oberdin off of it the other night. Clean.
Yeah.
Boots up. It boots up way quicker than my PS4 Pro internal drive. So I just want to let you know that
isn't that crazy?
It's dumb.
Yeah.
But just in case you're looking to expand upon your, like if you want to switch your SD drive to your Series X for maybe some Game Pass storage or something like that, it was only $100 for a 4 terabyte drive.
See, I may do that because
you can't store PS5 games on.
I may do that because I have. Well, I may not. I have 2 SSD.
Okay.
So I have one on my PS5 and one on my Xbox, and right now, I can. Or what I've been doing is if I play my my PS4, some of the games are on that same hard drive. I'll unplug it from the PS5, bring it in here, and plug it in the PS4. Mm-hmm. But I could spend that $100, get a 4 terabyte, load that puppy up, and then this thing would have like every PS4 game that I'd ever want to play on it.
Yeah. So I have currently 30 PS4 games downloaded,
and you're what, at half? What are you at?
Not even 1,500 gigs. Like I think I just passed a terabyte. From what Robert understands, the hard drives will be very specific and should be in gaming departments, not computer departments. So,
I hope so on that one.
according to him, that means that Sony should be on top of it. But then again, it's just that thing of I don't always trust how clear Sony is. So I'm hoping this is crystal clear. Like, you can buy these 2 drives for it right now.
Yep.
Anyway,
and I hope that's true, Robert. What you were talking about specific drives. Yeah, Sony going to Sony. Well, when they announced it at first, I was like, oh, Sony's being a little bit more like agnostic when it comes to, like, you can bring whatever you want as long as it's the right specs. Use whatever SSD you want. Where Xbox was like, you have to buy our proprietary storage. So I thought that PlayStation would be a little bit more open, but yeah, I think they realized maybe afterwards, maybe that was a design choice, and then they went, shoot, people are going to make mistakes, because that's what's going to happen.
So here's what I want to have. So, first of all, I hate the proprietary storage on the Series X. You'll never see me buy one. It's just not going to happen unless it goes for
thinking about
a very low price. It's just I haven't gotten there yet. I will give a lot of credit to Xbox. I've been playing a lot of Xbox so far this gen. So, like, not just Call of Duty. I've been playing just things on there. I went ahead and I posted the picture to our LANCave Facebook page the other day. I just loaded up the download queue of Game Pass games, man. But I don't like the idea of proprietary storage.
Yeah.
I modded this sucker to not do anything necessarily illegal, but just to expand the storage. So what I had to do is there's a thing that goes into the game slot so that I can put an SD card in there, and it's literally just because storage is too expensive. So Sony hopefully is just going to say, you have to meet these specs, companies, and here they are.
Yeah.
To do that, you got to come to us and be like, here's the specs. You met them. Cool. We'll put our little Sony brand. This drive works with our PS5. Hopefully it's like that. Hopefully we put it on the proper companies to make that, because WD definitely should be involved. I'm super
100%.
impressed with my 4 terabyte drive. I expected it to just be a good storage thing, but again, it's Oberdin booted in 2 seconds, just like everything else on my PS5 has, and it's booting that from an external HDD drive plugged into a USB-A port. Yeah. So there's people like WD, there's people like Samsung. They should be involved. They make superior hard drives to what Sony can do. So Sony should just say, here's some specs, tell us you met it, stamp, and grow that, make it a competitive market, and hopefully it's cheaper. But I'll let anybody know, whatever's coming out this summer is probably going to be priced similar to the Series X. What was the Series X memory card at?
$219.
So expect whatever comes out first to be about $200.
Yeah, it's like $219 or $229, something like that. Like, it's the point where I was like, I have not bit the bullet on it because I haven't filled up my Series X in storage, because I have an external storage drive hooked up to it. So my Game Pass are anything that's Xbox One or below is going on that external drive. Anything else is going to the internal. I haven't filled up the internal, so I haven't had a reason to do that. Also, I would say if the wife jumped around on games like I did, I'd probably have to buy the internal storage. She usually plays a game, and like that's her game for like 5 or 6 months. Like, sure. It's like Assassin's Creed, and it's awesome. Where I'm like ping ponging around here. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll definitely be doing this for the PlayStation before the Xbox, but I've been tempted on the Xbox.
Robert says that before release, they said that they were working with 3 companies. But this was before the tech demo, so can take that with a slight grain of salt. But that's still a good sign that at least maybe we can have some decent competitive pricing, or at least different sizes. Maybe a half terabyte, maybe a 2 terabyte if you really want to blow a lot of money on it.
and I don't know, depending on the pricing and everything. Robert's saying he's like gotta he's like my wife, got to finish one, and it sucks if you haven't finished because there's so many unopened games. Yeah,
I've played 22 games so far this year.
Yeah, see,
I've beaten 3, and I'm not counting
2.
Call of Duty.
She's played 2 because of Phoenix Rising.
Sure.
I picked that up, and she was like, I really like this. And then she played it for a little bit and then said, okay, well, I need to go back to Assassins. Funny enough, like, they actually fixed some of the bugs that she was waiting for in Assassins, like, before she was playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. So when she went back, some of those were fixed. She's still
4 games. I've beaten 4 games. I've played 22.
Okay. And Robert's in here said he played 4.
I forgot about 3D World.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna say no segue. I was gonna say, speaking of forgetting, but I don't know if I don't think I forgot this. Pokemon did not forget it though. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Sorry, I gotta switch off this music here. Getting the remake of these being announced. I didn't play these, so I guess that would be my segue. I didn't misremember them, but I didn't necessarily play them. Did you play these back in the day?
No, Pearl. So Pokemon Pearl and Diamond, that came out in 2006. So that was the year I graduated high school. I wasn't doing a ton of gaming at that point. I was busy working at the movie theater and starting my partying days.
Yep.
So I did not play that generation at all. I'm in, as we know, I'm in several like Discords, and the Discord that I spend the most time in, they were very hype on Pearl and Diamond. Yeah. I'm still on that Silver life. Like I wish they would port Soul Silver and Heart Gold over to Switch, but it looks good. It looks a lot like the Link's Awakening remake, though. So I'm kind of wondering if they use the same engine as Link's Awakening did.
Remind me of that too. Yeah.
And then we're talking about the overworld, the battle scene. Yeah. Like, so for everybody who doesn't know, they did rebuild this game from the ground up. So it is like it is a true like remake of this generation. I will, just like every other Pokemon game, even though I drop Sword like a bad habit, I'm probably still going to pick this up. It looks cool.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you think? You going to play it?
I don't know if I'm going to play that. I'm going to definitely play Legends, though. Like, that one, 100%. Like, I don't know about the remake because it doesn't necessarily resonate with me. And this one didn't even pop up, but...
you played it earlier.
I did play it earlier. Apparently, when I deleted it, I'm having a couple issues here, so apologies. Along
with the Pearl and Diamond remakes, we got Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is touting itself, even though Nintendo didn't directly say this, but this is the game that the longtime fans have been wanting. This is Pokemon Breath of the Wild right here. The reference, the inspiration is very clear. Definitely go check out this trailer. So they're going to the same area as Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which is the Sinnoh region, but it's back in time, so it's pre-populated. You're going into this town. In your job, you are going to be filling the first Pokedex in the Sinnoh region. I want to hear what you think about what you saw. I have some takes.
I love I feel like you hit it on the head. The exploration, the Breath of the Wild aspect of being able to take it from zero to filling the Pokedex. The animation style, I feel like they nailed in this better than any other game to make it look like the anime. Like, hands down, everything here, not the environment. The environment's, kind of Breath of the Wild, kind of a little mix here and there, but the character models look like the anime. Being able to explore and be out in the wilderness like Ash and the OG Pokemon series, that's how I felt watching it. I thought that was really cool. Also, going back to where you have the unknown and you are where you have the unknown, where you're like it's up to you to do this. It's up to you to put that on you, as opposed to like a lot of the later Pokemon games were just like, hey, you're just another trainer here that everybody else has been here too. And I really like that aspect of of being one of the first. And I love this sketching here. I don't think it'll have much to do with the actual game, but I just really liked it for the trailer.
I'm a Piplup kind of guy,
Yeah.
so I love me some Piplup.
Yeah.
So, first of all, love the idea. Love it that it finally feels like, they're giving us Pokemon Snap this year. This game, by the way, I think is coming out next year. They're giving the fans what they want. However, if you're looking at the visual at this exact moment, this game doesn't look good, bro. Like, how does Breath of the Wild 2017 come out, look gorgeous?
Then this part right here.
And then this frame stuttering. There's this other part that, not just this, but there's like another part that comes up where you see this like pixelated Pokemon jump. Like, it's like this weird jump that it does by the trees. I'm seeing if this guy right here.
It's the stuttering frame rate. Yeah.
Ugly. It ugly, dude.
Yeah.
It's I wish that Game Freak was not the ones making this game.
I'm hoping it gets polished. Like, I saw some of these and I was like, You don't think it's gonna get polished?
When do they polish their games? Like, they don't. When do they ever polish their game? They are notoriously bad at this. It's just it's coming to this point where I get it. Game Freak, you own a third of the Pokemon Company. You own the most popular media franchise. You can go look it up on Wikipedia, y'all. They are the most popular media franchise they may have made in the last 25 years. They've made $80 billion just on merchandise, and then they've made another 30.
With a B.
Yeah, and they made another 20 or 30 on like movies and video games. And so they print money. Here's what you do. You open up the printer and you say, here, other company who's better at making video games, here's a story that we want. Here's your Pokemon. We designed them all for you. Make my game run dope.
Yeah.
That I don't want to hate this because it's the open world Pokemon game I want. I don't want to hate this because everything about it is exciting to me, but I've watched this trailer now, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 times, and every time I watch the trailer, I'm just like, ugly now.
I
like,
noticed
the first time I was like,
yeah.
oh my god, and then like the second and third time just came and I was like, what is that Pokemon doing in the background? What it's that hopping thing next to the tree where it just
here.
It's so
right
ugly, dude.
I didn't. When I saw that at first, I thought when I saw the stuttering, I almost felt like they were doing that like on purpose, based on. But the other flying Pokemon don't do that, so I don't know.
And then just this continuous walking thing again. If you're listening to this audio, go check out the trailer while you're listening to the audio, and where they're walking and you see that draw distance, and I just don't get how Nintendo proper, and Nintendo also owns a third of the Pokemon Company.
Yep.
Nintendo proper, they would never release this game in terms of how it looks and how it feels. It would never happen. They look at how Breath of the Wild runs. Look at how Breath of the Wild runs on the Wii U, which should have no business running like that on the Wii U. How it runs on the Switch in handheld, how it runs in docked mode. You look at the port of 3D World, you look at Mario Odyssey, they completely shut down Metroid because it was not up to snuff. They were like, no, you suck. Took it from that company and gave it to another company. Why does Nintendo not do that with this franchise? I just don't. I there's got to be some kind of contract thing where it's like Game Freak just says we're gonna work on this game forever because we can. I don't know. And Robert thinks it's gonna come out on the Switch Pro, and the only thing I have to say to that though is, can Game Freak really make that? Like, is it that good? Is it going to be that much better?
It's only as good as your devs. Yeah, it's only as good as your devs. Yeah, at the same time, like, I see some of the jankiness, but like, there's enough here that looks good enough. But I'll say at the same time, like, this game looks like it could have also come out on the Wii U, like you mentioned.
But you know your man, just like I bought Sword, and even though I don't like Sword at all, I stopped playing Sword within 2 hours. But they got my $60. I already said I'm gonna borrow. I haven't decided if I'm buying Pearl or Diamond.
That's happened to
yet.
me. Yeah, that's happened to me on Pokemon games too. Like
Yeah,
X and Y. Whitney and I both got it, and I think we played like 5 hours of it, and that's it.
I did get that. I
X
did
and
get
Y,
X and didn't play a whole bunch of that either. I'm still super stoked. Next month, the end of April,
Yeah.
new Pokemon Snap comes out.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's gonna
it's
be, that looks
that's
cute.
that's the only hard part about it. We talk about voting with our wallet all the time, and I vote with my wallet and say, "Here, I'm buying your jank."
So yeah, sometimes your heart outweighs your wallet though on some of those, and it's the wishful thinking of like, no, this one's gonna be a lot better. This one's gonna be so much better. And
If you look at like my Pokemon shelf here,
Yeah.
like there's a copy of red, there's a copy of yellow,
Yeah.
there's a copy of gold next to the Game Boy Color. There's
those are so good. Like
there's Stadium on the shelf.
yeah,
It's one of those lifelong things. It's just like where if Nintendo were to make a bad Zelda, it would be pretty hard pressed for me not to buy it. Like even though I hate Spirit Tracks, I still bought it.
yeah.
I didn't know that I would hate it at the time, but it was a thing where I bought it knowing that it was full touch screen, and I hated that, but I still was like, Zelda, here's your money.
Yep.
You know.
Yep, they got you. They got you. Pokemon's done that to me too. So, yeah, I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it too. Yeah. Let us know in the comments, by
But-
the way, if any franchises that you keep throwing money at, even though they're bad, that you keep throwing money at. Let us know in the comments if there's one that resonates with you like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I completely expect to hopefully fall in love with this open world aspect. It's the game that I wanted forever. It's just I couldn't help but also be a little bit whelmed while everybody else was kind of screaming their head off. But I did comment to several people, and I know that Robert mentioned it here, but like this is the game that proves we need a Switch Pro, because somebody's got to make up for the fact that
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, but at the same time, like, you can have that much horsepower. Is it gonna look that much better? Robert in here saying, does Watch Dogs count with keep throwing money at Watch Dogs, Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs Legion?
I've heard Watch Dogs 2 is a lot better than 1.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. I haven't played it though. My nephew's played a bunch of it, but I haven't played it.
I got it for free on Epic Game Store, and so
Same.
it's there. I played it for about 30 minutes.
Same. So I haven't played it though. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
We have been diving into our backlog though, and we keep postponing this. So
Yeah, tell me about Control, dude.
I'm gonna talk about one that was in my backlog, Control, which I love. This game was on my radar, and I've told the story before. It was on my radar. I was like, this game looks like it could be good, but last year I was on the I'm not going to buy something if I'm not actually going to play it kick, which didn't really happen. It was an honest it was a good try. But when they announced the DLC, the Alan Wake DLC, I immediately purchased the game. And then got this replaced on PlayStation Plus. We got the Ultimate version, so I was happy about that. That I got the upgrade because I hadn't purchased the upgrade yet. So, been playing Control. I'm about 3.5, 4 hours in. I think I'm 4 hours in. I think, what is this, like a 9 or 10 hour game?
I think like How Long to Beat has it at 11. I
Okay.
beat it in 10.
Okay. So I from the beginning, the game had me in regards to storytelling, where they don't tell you a lot about who your character is, where you are, what you're doing. I went in relatively blind. Like, I started the game and Whitney was like, so what's this game about? I'm like, I don't know. And she thought I was being coy with her. She's like, no, like, they tell me what it's about. She wanted to, like, get her appetite wet a little bit, And I said, no, honestly, all I know is there's some weird superpowers. That's it. And I liked that I didn't go in knowing, like, about your position as director and about the organization. And I'm 4 hours in, and I still have tons of questions that may or may not be answered. And that's one of the things that I actually really like about it. The gameplay's great and everything, but, like, the pacing of the story has been really cool. And, like, the lore and the superpowers has been really cool, too.
Yeah, and so I still don't think you've reached the part where I just want, like, I think you're gonna know it when
Yeah.
you see it. I think there's just gonna be this this cool moment. What I do want to know is, so I played it back on PS4 Pro
Mm-hmm.
at launch,
Mm-hmm.
and this was in 2019 when this game came out. Um, it ran fine.
Mm-hmm.
It did have some jank to it, and I think it's because they were trying to accomplish a lot. There's a lot of physics-based stuff. It definitely has, I don't know if you agree, but it has one of the coolest physics engines I've ever seen.
Yes, I was going to mention that. So I will say I haven't seen any parts that were too buggy or janky. The only thing that I thought was kind of a little too sensitive when it came to the physics engine, because so many things are made to be able to be moved or to be able to be manipulated. Where if I am in a room where I'm not battling, I'm just walking through a room and I accidentally like nudge a table, like there's all this rattling because all the things on the table and everything are movable. But
Yeah.
so just me like nudging the table, like all of a sudden, like it's. I feel like it was a little sensitive when it came to that, but like in the heat of battle, haven't had a problem with that at all. It was just kind of weird. Kind of took me out of the moment for a bit because I felt like there was like an overreaction of the objects. But yeah, the physics, being able to grab objects, throw objects, which harkens back to because we're old school gamers, so to me harkens back all the way to like Jedi Knight, being able to like throw things and like pick up people or whatever, but being able to do that on like a massive level and having all these ridiculous objects and particle physics has been really cool.
So you noticed it be, in terms of the gameplay, like it's completely smooth on this
Yeah.
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, I haven't had any gameplay problems.
Cool.
Yeah, like it's been really smooth. My experience has been, like I said, that's been the only part that like took me out of it. Everything else has been pretty smooth.
Cool.
The character models, like the character facial expressions, like
Sure.
say that part can get a little meh, because we're in the uncanny valley where things are like looking really good, but they're just not quite there. So people kind of, it's not as bad as like Andromeda, like Mass
Sure.
Effect Andromeda, but I have had a couple times where I'm like, eh. But yeah, overall, like switching over here, this is actually my gameplay playing it, and it's been smooth. Actually, and I don't remember if this is at 60 because this was streaming. But yeah, overall, and fast forward just a little bit. Overall, like I liked it. You can see the selection, being able to grab things there. But even as you pick up an object, like all of the dust and stuff like around that object is moving with you, which I thought was it's a nice touch for the environment, and also makes you feel more powerful because you're not It's not like, oh, I've only got like 10 objects in here to pick up. When you pick up the object, it moves the world around you, or moves particles that are either dust around it or on top of it. So yeah. Like I said, I'm liking the. I didn't like when I first started playing. I felt like the gameplay was a little difficult because just playing it as a third-person shooter, like I didn't think it was that tight. But once you start actually getting your powers, I was like, oh no, this is really good. Once you have those other options, but at the same time, like I don't think your character's supposed to be like amazing with a gun. So yeah, it's not like I'm playing a John Wick game here.
There's definitely several moments where I got frustrated, and everybody know I'm not extremely great at video games to begin with. I play games a lot of times just to experience them. I try and play them on normal because I want to play them as the developer, kind of like they set the normal mode. But there's definitely moments throughout the game where there's just frustrating things. I tended to try and cheese my way out of as many fights as I possibly could, like picking up the same object over and over again and throwing it at enemies and just until they died or whatever I had to do. But that's another thing about this game. The gun is dope. The fact that the gun is just one weapon that just morphs is it's this little bitty detail, but it just is a really cool idea. The fact that your gun just kind of morphs into the shotgun, or it morphs into the explosive or whatever.
Yeah, well, I think that also makes that gun more, dare I say, iconic. I know that the game's not that old, but it makes it more impactful. It makes it better. It makes it, I don't know. It's got the cool factor where like Other games, when you have a starting gun, maybe iconic for a character, and then you have 15 other guns that you get throughout the game, that starting gun, as great as it was, is less cool because of that. Like, there's again, old school, but like GoldenEye, like the silenced PPK or PP7, whatever. Like, that's such a really cool gun. But as soon as you get like a Desert Eagle or like the Uzis and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's not that great. But if you went through a whole like 007 game where that's all you had, it would be great. It would be a great gun if that's what you had and you got to use this. I feel like this, like you said, getting to use the same gun, being able to morph, because this is kind of a magical science-y world, because it's not just magic, but being able to meld that and have a gun that continues to follow and expand with you, I think is cool. The upgrade system on that and your character has been cool too, which I know I haven't dove into too deep, but I feel like this is one that I'm gonna keep playing, because I want to see where the story goes, and I want to see how it connects to Alan Wake. Like, how does that? I don't know how these two are connected at this point, and I loved Alan Wake, but they seem to be two completely different worlds. So you didn't play Alan Wake, right?
No. But I did go ahead and push the download button on the PS5 version because it is the Ultimate Edition. The only thing that upsets me, you can't carry your save over, so that means I would have to play through the game again. But the Ultimate Edition does carry these DLCs, and I know nothing about Alan Wake, but I'm kind of interested to see the tie-in. So I'm considering doing my rare replay of a game, which if anybody knows me, I don't replay games ever. But because I want to experience the better version of the game, and there's just nothing on PS5 right now.
It's not that long of a game, so it's like, okay, like you could plow through this and actually complete it. You say rarely do you replay a game. There's certain games you will replay.
Not really. I mean, I played Breath of the Wild 3 times.
How many times? 3 times? Okay. Yeah. How many times did you play Ocarina?
I mean, that was when I was a kid, though. Okay. Ever since I could afford games, I stopped replaying it. And I don't mean that to down anybody at all. It's just I have such a, like I mentioned, I downloaded 30 games onto that hard drive. Literally, I didn't download a single game that I have played. Yeah. So this is 30 games that are sitting on a hard drive that I've never touched before. And it's like,
and they're not Game Pass.
I could replay, and I will say, I am playing a lot of Black Ops Cold War, and so that's taking up a bit of my time. That's my ongoing game that I'm playing. I still haven't played through. I have not touched the campaign. I thought that the campaign was going to be the only thing that I was going to play, and I haven't touched it. But there's too many games out there, man. There's just like we talk about with this 12 for 12. That's the whole point of this, is that I'm purposely playing stuff that I have not played before, that I paid for. And so I downloaded this though because I wanted the PS5 version. There's not a lot of PS5 version specific games out there right now, so I'm leaving it on there for a rainy day. There's gonna be a moment where I'm interested in something a little trippy and seeing what this game's about. I'm glad to hear that you're going to finish it. I'm glad to hear that it hooked you. I really thought that it would, and I think there's going to be some really cool moments in there, and I can't wait till we get to the one part of the game that is just it completely made the experience where it's like, dang, these creators are dope. There's that moment in there, and I need to get to talking to my game too, but I will talk about Ghost of Tsushima next week.
Gotcha. So we'll talk about that next week, and then we'll catch up. This was originally going to be a backlog game per month. We got a little behind in February, so
I'm still playing them. We're still talking about.
Yeah, exactly. We're still playing them. Yeah. So
what's your March game?
Shoot, I know I wrote it down. Hold on.
So while he's looking that up, like I mentioned at the top of the podcast, my March 12 for 12 game was Oberdin. So I'll be talking about that later this month. And like I mentioned, Ghost of Tsushima was my February game, and I'll be talking about that next week.
Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
There we go.
So which I'm
excited to hear about that.
Yeah, which I picked up and didn't play. I love Zelda, but I've not played the Dynasty Warriors, franchise and all that. So
You didn't play the first Hyrule Warriors?
I purchased it.
The original?
And I've got it on the Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it on the Switch.
So you have both
I have
Hyrule
both
Warriors, but you're gonna play
Hyrule
Age of Calamity.
Well, I'm gonna play.
By the way, I would just skip the first one. If you own it, you need to play it sometime.
I need to play it at some point. It's again my backlog, just like everybody else's. But being excited about the new Breath of the Wild, knowing that they keep adding things in here, that it actually does fill out some of or expand the lore within the world that I absolutely love in Breath of the Wild, as opposed to being kind of its standalone thing where the first Hyrule Warriors was not really connected, where this is actually connected to the lore and to the story. So yeah, I'm gonna play that.
So again, like we've been talking about, and you'll hear us just at least mention it every single week. We got 12 games. We have 12 months in the year. We already have paid for these games, so we're don't worry, we're purchasing other games. I bought 3D World. I bought a couple of games this week because PlayStation, I don't know if you've noticed, is having a ton of sales. So I picked up an action RPG that called Ease. I don't know if you've ever heard of that franchise.
I've heard of it. Chris is a fan of it.
Okay,
fan
cool.
of the show, Chris. And a few people that I watch on YouTube are big fans. So let me know what you think of that. Yeah.
So I'm not counting those games that I just purchased. That might be something that goes into 2022's 12 for 12. So these are games that me and Patrick own, paid for, and we're saying we got to play these games. We paid for them. So if you want to join us, look through your backlog, pick out just a game a month. You can be more ambitious than us too. If you want to pick out a game a week, if you want to pick out a game every couple weeks, you can do however you want us. Let us know how you're experiencing this, but pick out a game a month. Come talk to us about it if you want to. Please feel free to share. Just go through that backlog. You paid for these games, right? So play them.
Exactly.
So we're doing the same thing, and we're going to talk to you. Maybe you find something through our discussion where you're like, man, Control sounds cool. I want to pick that up. And it was free on PS Plus. So if you added it to your library, you're like, oh, maybe I want to hit that old download
totally
button.
do that every month, by the way. I mean, it sounds corny. I got a little calendar reminder on my phone, and that way I don't forget.
There's even a PSVR game this month, which it doesn't matter if you own the system or not. Add it to your library. PSVR 2 is going to come out in a year or two, and I'm hoping that they're going to continue to do this. Like, imagine if they gave us like Beat Saber and stuff for free, and I just have this PSVR library going.
That'd be so cool. Well, I did that with the Vita. Like, I had stacked up games on the Vita when I got a Vita. I think I had like 30 games. Oh yeah, I had 30 games. Hadn't even purchased a game. Had 30 games ready. I think I only purchased like a handful of games on Vita because I had so many given to me for free. So yeah, do that. Go through your backlog. You've got years worth of games just like we do. So yeah, pick them up. Enjoy some gaming, and we'll talk to you next time.
Say bye.